who you trust, all those things. If you don't know the name, forget it. So that's why we've seen some really interesting people like Al Franken and Jesse Ventura and, running for office. They have what's called a Q score, name recognition. Mike Turner has name recognition, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but he's got it because he's been there, because he's a career politician. He's been the mayor of Dayton for 8 years, and he's been in Congress for 20. 28 years of having your name pop up on the ballot. People sort of say, oh, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, my life's okay. I'm going to vote for him. Unfortunately, a lot of people have thought that Mike Turner was some sort of progressive urban mayor, and he was anything but that. But considering the other 4 people he was sitting there with, he looked pretty good because the standards in this community aren't very high. He only beat Mayor Dixon by 400 votes. Let me say again. He only beat Richard Clay Dixon by 400 votes. In the end, he lost by 1,000 to Ryan McLean. They were pretty close. And of course, she had 35 years of her father being in office, and she'd been a state rep, so she had name recognition too, and well known in the community. But it's more than just name recognition. It's more than, the little D or the little R. For the most part, it's about money. When you're an incumbent, you have control over what money is going to pass through the community. And this is the crazy truth. Every year before Mike's running for re-election, a couple things start happening. One, you start getting mail. This look familiar to anybody? You seen these? Okay. Mikey sends out mail for free. That's one of the things members of Congress get to do. It says right here, it's got a signature. It says MC, member of Congress, pre-sorted standard. It's official business, paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives. On this one, that's the one protecting our water supply. Now on the other one, it says paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Turner, Ohio 10. Do you know how much it would cost me to send these out to every registered voter's household in Ohio 10? Do you have any idea? About $50,000, give or take, probably. I haven't done the pricing lately. I'll have to check how many households there are of registered voters. Then I'd have to check. I know I get the printing cheaper than he gets it. But then I'd have to look at the sort fees, the imprinting fees, the drop-in at the post office fees, and then the postage fees, which just went up again. So it would be expensive. But Mikey gets to send them for free. He also gets to get on TV for free. And by the way, this is open. You can comment. You can send chat back and forth. I can't sit here and type to you, but somebody else can and say welcome. No, the GOP does not do this for him, I-70. This is run out of the candidate, his house office. This is what they do. The GOP ones, they'll be the ones that'll slam me and tell you about how this or that horrible thing I did. Those will be coming, trust me. But, that's actually a good thing because I can't afford to mail everybody. So if he does that, I should really thank him. But then the other thing he gets to do is he gets to be on TV. Not just local TV. He comes for a bunch of ribbon cuttings. He comes to award checks or talk about how he did this for such and such or that for such and such. But he gets also to go on CNN, Fox News, all these other channels, like he has for the last week and a half, complaining the FBI and the Department of Justice are criminals pursuing a political agenda, raiding Donald Trump's mansion in Florida. We talked about this last Friday. You've seen it in the news, where he says, Donald Trump has more top secret information in his head, and that you probably have top secret information in your cell phone, and when questioned whether he takes top secret information home with him, he sat there and dodged it, and then he finally just said, no. Like that. Mike Turner gets all kinds of opportunities to be seen, heard, asked questions of, interviewed. Nobody's coming and talking to me, his challenger. So I have to do the guerrilla marketing thing and tag his tweets and go and harass him online wherever I can and comment on some of those videos that have been put up by CNN and Fox and say, hey, I'm his opponent, send money. Because I don't have 19 billionaires and counting giving me the maximum amount of money so I can run for re-election. And trust me, those billionaires' money, even though it's limited by campaign finance rules, it comes with strings attached. So you get this money, you do what we say. I used to tell people that the easiest way to evaluate who you should vote for is go look at the last campaign finance report before Election Day. See who's got the most money and who spent the most money. Vote for the guy with the least amount of money. Period. Generally, that'll get you the better person. Not always, but 99% of the time. So, incumbency. Besides the fact that it lists you in all the voters' guides and everything as the incumbent, and you can say this. You can say, I have experience in Congress. And Mike's going to make a big deal that if the Republicans somehow manage to pull one off this November and take back the House of Representatives, he will be, as the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, he will be the leader of it. Because right now, that's where he's headed. He's put the years in, and he will be in charge of what's considered top secret and not top secret, and reviewing all those things. Viewing what you saw in the last week and a half, having him promoted would be a bad thing. It's not based on his qualifications. It's just based on he's been there the longest time. But other than the quote, I have experience in Congress, Congress was never meant to be a place for professional politicians. And I think the Founding Fathers would be absolutely disgusted with what they see was from what had been a part-time job to one which becomes a job where you spend a year working and a year raising money. Actually, it's a year working and 2 years raising money, because that's what they effectively do. Got to remind you that when Joe Roberts ran against him and only had $7,000, Mikey spent $785,000 to defeat him. He's going to spend the money no matter what. Me, I've got to raise money, and $5, $10, $30, $91.30, that's YSO bucks, from people like you who might be watching. I need you, people like you, to volunteer, to go door to door and talk to people. I need you to post things online. I need you to share my videos. I need you to talk about what you see and get other people to come and take a look. You know, these videos all go live and you can ask questions, but you can also share the final video and it can be watched and rewatched, and we're getting some people that are doing that. The video we did yesterday got pretty good reception online, and that was about artificial intelligence segmenting society and causing the divisiveness, and how the whole AI algorithm works in order to keep you online and watching ads, because that makes the big companies the money. So, what else happens with incumbency? Well, you don't get chased off from places. Nobody tells the sitting congressman, oh, you can't speak here, you can't be a part of this candidate's night, you can't bring your materials here, you can't campaign on our property. No, they don't do that to congressmen. Trust me, they do it to me. And by the way, I'm sorry about the background noise, but the city of Dayton's finally decided to replace 140-year-old lead pipes in our street with brand new ductile iron pipes, so the lead poisoning of Bonner Street can stop. I'm pretty sure that led to some of my parents' dementia, but Who knows? I can't remember. I live here too. No, that's a joke. Anyway, so yes, I have an uphill battle, I-70, and I appreciate you coming even though you don't agree with anything I say. So maybe one of these days I will watch your 200 or 20 mules. What is it? 10 mules? 2,000 mules. You know, I find it interesting that Republicans have a real problem with ballot boxes, but have no problems with drop-a-baby-off boxes at fire stations. Seems kind of convoluted, but we'll move on from there. So we're looking at an election in something like 83 days, and Mike Turner hasn't even gotten started with his advertising campaigns and the money. It's going to continue to grow and continue to get larger and larger, while on the other hand, I am going to be fighting an uphill battle, as it said. So, can challengers win? We will see. The big issue here is going to be what's going to happen with Republican women, and there's so much for the noise dampening rug. What's going to happen with Republican women, and they're losing their rights to choose what happens with their bodies. We think that we saw in Kansas that there were a lot of them that said, no, we're not going to go along with this. In Mike Turner's America, you're probably going to have to drive to Canada to get an abortion, or illegally get pills through the mail from somebody, or we'll have networks. But when you have a serious medical problem, or if you have cancer and it's a choice of getting cancer treatment or the baby, we're going to have some legal problems and all kinds of other problems. So abortion is definitely going to be one of the big things that comes up this November, and the two of us are about as opposed as they get. There's still a lot of people that are not happy with the gun control positions in this country. We'll see what happens there. Again, Mike Turner and I are about as far apart as they come. And the difference there is I actually belong to a well-regulated militia, and he only pretends to be. So, how Jennifer Alexander says, I'd like to know how deep Mike Turner is with the Saudis. Well, first off, I'm going to tell you this. If he's getting Saudi money, it's not legal, and it should be reported as such, and we haven't seen any evidence of it coming through, but it's pretty easy to send money through other people. When you're rich, you just have your banker make a donation and you give them the cash. That's how these things work. However, you know, earlier on, people on the House Intelligence Committee were talking about Hunter Biden's laptop and all this other stuff about, you know, secure information on Hillary's servers. Whereas nobody's talking about the $2 billion deal Jared Kushner did with the Saudis, and how much the Saudis might pay for some of that classified information that was at Mar-a-Lago. You know, they took out the 25 boxes of whatever. How much of it's already gone is the question. And who did it go to? I'd say $2 billion of a deal. I'm pretty sure Donald would pretty much give away anything. But then again, he was the one that tweeted a picture, a classified picture of an explosion, and got away with it. So, Jennifer's talking about the Saudis and upgrading their weapons, planes, and drones. Oh, he's doing that for the defense contractors. He doesn't care that they're going to the Saudis. Mike Turner has never met a weapon system or a manufacturer of a weapon system that he doesn't want to crawl into bed and play cuddlebug with. He loves the defense industry. He thinks he is their saving grace. And he's well rewarded for it. A majority of his money comes over the last 20 years from defense contractors, home builders, and of course the pharmaceutical industry. And the site to find this stuff out is opensecrets.org. They take the really messy, nasty information that's held within the FEC database, and they make it somewhat understandable. So, good organization, good one to support and give some money to, and good one to do your homework with. Excuse me. again, so incumbency gets you all the breaks. I'm going to have to work 3 times as hard and 10 times as smart. Well, not 10 times as smart because Mike's not very smart. That would make me pretty much stupid. So I just have to be smart and do a good job at getting your attention and getting people understanding that Mike Turner works for the billionaires from out of state and not for you. And by the way, our new literature will be here hopefully at the end of the week, and we should have people out canvassing this weekend, although we still have not been given access to the Democratic Party tool, which is called NGP Van, because somebody at the state level is blocking it. Anyway, that's all we have for today. Remember to subscribe and hit notify down below on the YouTube page. Also go to electasright.com to find out more about my issues, and we're going to be working on that site some more finally because it needs a tune-up. And we are looking for donations, of course, and volunteers to go there and sign up to volunteer, as well as just subscribe to the weekly newsletter that I send out, because me, unlike all the other people, don't send out 1 to 3 emails a day telling you the sky is falling if you don't donate. I try to give you updates on the campaign, what's been happening, what I've learned in this process, and make it interesting reading. So, we'll be here again tomorrow at 4 with another interesting topic. If you've got any ideas, things you want to hear, again, in the comments, we see them all. And we will be here at 4 live and hope to see you then. Have a great day.